on the inset. The Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the Métis Nation. First resolution, adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Blade. Be resolved that the August 18th, 2026 agenda be hereby adopted. Questions or comments on the agenda? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next one, the adoption of the minutes. So moved by Councillor Taylor, second by Councillor Butler. Be resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of July 21st, 2026 be approved as presented. Questions or comments on the minute? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. That will take us straight into our delegation. So first up, we have our financial audit from Jenna. So I'll ask you to take the podium and present the audit.
You haven't had this big a crowd before.
I know. I'm gonna start on the independent auditors report. So second paragraph into the report. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated financial statements present fairly in all material respects. Consolidated financial position of the town as at December 31st, 2025, and the results of its consolidated operations, remeasurement gains, losses, change in net financial assets, cash flows, and supporting schedules for the year then ended in accordance with Canadian Public Sector Accounting Standards. So a clean audit report, we cleaned up all the asset retirement obligation stuff, so there was no issues noted in the audit report. I'm gonna move on to page 6.
As you mentioned, the asset retirement obligation, could you explain basically the change in the total liability, basically doubling, and I presume most of that is due to asset retirement?
Yeah, on the statement of financial position.
Yes.
Yeah, it increased about that 788,000. Some of that was from Evergreen because they finally did a study on the landfill, so their asset retirement obligation got put in there.
Okay.
And then also, we included the asset retirement obligation, the cost to demolish your old arena. So that's what changed there.
Okay. Well, what then?
Cause I think Evergreen's assessment was like almost $4 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Page 6, the consolidated statement of financial position. For 2025, we have cash and temporary investments of 11.2 million. Amounts receivable of 817,000. Loans and advances for 16,000. And real estate properties held for sale of almost 1.2 million. That got you total financial assets of 10.3 million. Overall, from last year, it increased. Just short of 300,000. Increase to cash. That would be directly related to any decrease in your house. Sorry, an increase in that real estate property held for sale because you sold a bunch of properties there, so there's additional cash that came in from that. And your accounts receivable stayed fairly consistent, so no increase there. And then there was a small decrease in your annual surplus, so overall that's where the cash change came from. Real estate properties held for sale, there was a decrease of about 300,000. So overall, there was about additions of 31,000. You just had few final things to complete to the year. And then you had disposals of about 364,000. And of that, was various properties that both you own and then you sold as well. So we moved the ones that you own into your tangible capital assets. And then the ones that were sold. So overall, you had a gain of 143,000 properties that were sold. compared to the cost that we had allocated per property. Liabilities, accounts payable and accrued liabilities of 735,000. Unearned revenue of 733. Your asset retirement obligation of 1.4344 million. Long-term debt of 3.1 million, overall total liabilities of 5.3 million. Decrease in your accounts payables of about 710,000. A lot of that has to do with the timing. In 2024, you still had quite a bit of ongoing projects that were in the process of being completed at the end of 2024, so that's what caused those payables to be slightly higher. And also your DFP in 2024.
What is considered unearned revenue?
Unearned revenue would be if you receive a deposit or renting a hall for 2027. So it's revenue that you've received, but if you haven't earned it because you haven't provided the service in the year. Overall total net financial assets of 4.9 million. Non-financial assets, your tangible capital assets of 26.4 million. And prepaid expenses of 779,000. Overall, non-financial assets of 26.5 million. Increase in your tangible capital assets of 865,000. And also your prepaid expenses went up by 20,000. Usually that's fairly consistent, but the insurance on the new arena would have been included in there for I think a full year compared to 2024. And TCAs, various TCAs, you did some line replacement work, completion of the splash park. The workstations, various equipment and vehicles, and work you did on the bathroom and complex. Any questions on that statement? Okay, next page on your consolidated statement of operations. Overall total revenue of 9.7 million, it decreased slightly by 18,000, so not very much. There was some different line items that did increase. Your property taxes increased 345,000 from prior year. User fees increased 515,000, and that was directly related to the garbage levy, and also there's one other item that increased as well. I'm drawing a blank which one that was. Investment income decreased 124,000. That had to do with the ISIP advance you received in 2024, so you were earning more investment income on that, whereas you've spent it all by 2025, so that caused that decrease in your investment income. Other revenue decreased by about 678,000, and that has to do with less donations for your arena, and also that donation you received from the state for the splash park. Water and sewer increased 191,000, so your rates would directly relate to that, and your grants from the province of Manitoba decreased 319,000. Again, back to that ISIP, those ISIP grants and any disaster flood assistance or EMO stuff, that's where that decreased from last year. Overall total expenses of 8.4 million. Some decreases and increases again through the different areas. Protective services significantly decreased to 110,000. Again, that DFA and EMO stuff is all sitting in that protective services. Environmental health services increased 193,000 due to your increase in your garbage collection fees. Recreation and cultural services increased to 542,000. That was various things about wages, insurance, and some repairs. A decrease in water and sewer services of 532,000. Related to repairs, lots of less repairs and water breaks in compared to 2024, and then the allocation of the admin charge spot. So overall, an annual surplus of 1.3 million, which is a small decrease of about 21,000. Any questions on that? Okay. I will skip through a bunch of stuff and just hit on some highlights because there's a lot of schedules in here that just regurgitate the same information in a different format. I always like to point out note 3 on page 11. The reporting entity, so these are consolidated statements, so 3A lists out the controlled entities that are 100% consolidated in. And then it lists below the government partnerships that you're involved with various communities and what percentage they're consolidated in that. Then I'm gonna really skip ahead to schedule 9. On page 34. So with the increase in rates, and less repairs in the year. Your utility operations had a net operating surplus of 423,000, so going in a positive to recoup some of those deficits in previous years. And then I'm also gonna skip ahead to the last page on page 40. Which is schedule 14. So your municipality is not allowed to incur a deficit under the municipal act. And if you look at the very top line under your general fund, you had an operating surplus. Under the municipal act of 224,849, and your utility also had a surplus of 123,635, so no issues with deficits for the 2025 year. Now, if there's any schedule you want, have questions on, I can go back. Look at them.
Have you been feeling it for managing properly? Thank you.
Yeah, it's going better, done earlier. Just waiting on entities, usually everything's just a little bit later to come in, so just holds things up a little bit, but.
On page 16, what are doubtful amounts amounting to $130,000?
So, the way the accounting works for this, when you do your financial plan, you set up an allowance for tax assets. And that amount gets accumulated into the allowance for doubtful amounts. And so that just accumulates over years, so when you cancel taxes, it will offset onto that 130,000, so it's not a specific. Tax item or amounts that are owing, it's more of a estimate on future taxes canceled.
Well,
So you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Any other questions?
yeah. What page am I on? And just a page 20. Yeah. So. What account for the drastic changes in financial liabilities and net financial assets? In our partnerships?
I wouldn't know the exact breakdown of which one probably had that negative balance in there. Probably gonna say evergreen,
Again, okay.
that's it.
Yeah, all right, well, no, that.
With the amount of like maybe debt that we have and that change in that asset retirement obligation, that's probably what caused that to be a liability for the year.
Okay, all right, well, that makes sense. Oh.
Yeah.
Good, everybody else good?
I have nothing else, but everything else was clean audit report, no management letter points. For significant deficiencies and controls. No non-compliance with laws and regulations. No significant differences that we didn't adjust for. It was all good.
Okay. Council Landry, you.
Just a comment, thank you to Brittany and Danielle and Stacy for all the work they did on this, and thank you to NNP for getting this to us in a timely fashion. Instead of us seeing it early in 2027.
If it didn't flood, it probably would. I was dealing with flood, and you guys were dealing with flood, and. Yeah.
Really appreciate it to get it on time, so.
Okay, we have a resolution we'll do, and then you're welcome to get out. So we have a resolution to accept the financial audit moved by Councillor Landry, second by Councillor Dowsett. Excuse me, that presentation by Janet Reggett, MNP, regarding the town's 2025 financial audit be received. If there's no further questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us into the next delegation, the Overland Flood Delegation. So.
So thank you for having us again. My name again is Annette Ford. This is my husband Stephen Ford, who has joined me at my father's house, 45 Fifth Avenue Southwest. What I would like to present today is the fact that the road in front of our house was dangerously compromised in the June 29th flood. Pylons mark the steep drop off to the waterway below, but nothing has been done yet to repair that damage. This is a hazard to the community, especially as winter comes and the roads become icy. Someone could easily slip off into that drop off that goes right into the culvert there. Furthermore, the bridge has cracks in it and the road is starting to give way alongside the culvert. The culvert itself is in urgent need of repair. So as we know, people from the town came to look at this after the June 29th flood, but nothing has been done as yet about this potentially hazardous situation. And so our question is, when will this be repaired?
I know that there were other presentations that happened last time and even as others came to the site even the other day, talking about ideas of digging out the valley. One of the some of these solutions may require time to explore or to implement. One of the ideas that came to me wanted to say a simple and immediate solution is to take I'm not sure the technical name, something like a cement divider along these lines, just as a picture that are often used in construction sites, place even 5 of them on the south side of the road. This would serve as a protection and a redirection of the water if it starts to overflow. Something as suggesting as potential quick solution, as opposed to something that needs long-term study and major expense to implement, and wanted to bring that forward.
Are you suggesting putting them in front of your driveway?
Putting them on the other side of the road? The
South
south
side.
side.
Oh, okay.
The water comes up from the south side, and so right now.
Yeah, okay, I know what you mean now, where the railing is bending over.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thank you.
My name is Heidi Dick. My husband and I live at 35th Avenue Southwest. We're on the south side of 5th Avenue, right where all the water goes. I just wanted to take a few minutes to speak to the significant silt built up. Last week, my husband and Chris' husband Gary, we were snipped behind our property where all those tall weeds are and tall grasses, and we felt like there was significantly more silt than what was presented last time when everyone came out. I was unable to come that night, but they spoke and I shared information. Underneath, where the central pathway of water used to flow prior to that 2020 flood was completely covered with silt. And we took time, my husband and I, to walk around in that area, and we felt that there was multiple feet higher than what was originally there before the 2020, and then with the silt that was already presented for the 26 floods as well. For those of you who took part in the time to walk through that valley, as was presented to you, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking that time. As you can see too, it's noticeably higher than our backyard, which is why water continuously flows through our backyard, not only in a 3-inch rain. Our lower part of our yard, as well as in our backyard, is completely soaked, which is damaging our fence line. But this is also retaining the water table in our backyards. We're finding significantly more issue with seepage in our basement and in our garage. Due to that, we've we've had a lot more issues. This was never an issue historically prior to 2020. And was not an issue. We did talk to our realtor. We bought our house in 2016, and that was something that we asked them significantly about. And they inquired with previous owners and said there was never any water table issues in this home, or any flooding that happened. We did look at, because we felt like the silt build up, we were standing very tall and very high, so we did use an altimeter app. Granted, there is going to be some gray area with those, but we did find that when we stood on the road and the bridge, it was standing at about 1,690 feet above sea level, and when we were 20 feet behind where about the horseradish and everything is, it was 1,692 to 93, so just significantly higher than our backyard, as well as the road, which it continuously floods in rain. So all of this is, I just wanted to present that more silt is found in that back as we have walked it more and we've thought about it more. And as homeowners and community members, that we want to work with you, town council. We do not want to be a bother for you, but we want to find a sensible solution together, and a long-term solution, as well as the short-term, so that when a flood or when a 3-inch rain, a heavy rain comes, we're not worried for our homes. So our question, Sean and mine, is if this town is not going to choose to clean up the silt from the floods, would we be granted permission to build a berm around our property to protect our home from further damage to our yard and our basement? So that's my question number 1. And if not, if you're not going to be removing the silt and we are not granted permission to protect our home, what is your suggestion for our property moving forward?
Thank you.
Hello. So I went back and looked in the June 21 council minutes that the council reassures Gary and Green Topham that their concerns are being looked at. The flood repairs are ongoing with DFA, and the town is pursuing a flood study that will set the stage for a plan to help reduce the impact of future rain events. So your KGS study was finalized June of 24. You mowed some grass and you put some rock down in that valley across from us. And, but that silt has never been removed in the 6 years, and we come every year and ask. And that was our concern, and we're feeling very unheard. Number 2, the CAO sent an email after we requested what was happening after our July presentation. It said that the DFA claims require an engineering firm to assess damages and provide a report before you can go ahead and complete work. They are in the queue for assessment and there is no timeline. So are you guys aware that like municipalities can actually carry out emergency repair work? Any location that you actually deem important, like are you aware of that? You take photos of the damage, you begin the repair work immediately, and then the engineers refer to the photos along with the now repaired damage, and then both the emergency work and the permanent solution are typically fully funded. The RM of Minto Odana has done this in the past. Grandview Municipality did it this June after the huge rainfall. My brother-in-law was out there doing stuff to roads, taking pictures. I'm just wondering why we don't do that. You did declare a state of emergency after June 29. Would have loved to have seen you out there. So Mayor Cameron, all the councillors, do you think our situation is important?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We'll have a
Okay.
meeting about
If
it.
you do, then please remove the silt in like the next few weeks. You know, cause a 3-inch rain in 1 hour, it's gonna come over the road and then it's gonna be flooding people again. At the last meeting, Councillor Butler said a meeting was happening with the RM and 3 landowners. Did that happen
It's not this scheduled, September.
for September?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I knocked on doors and this is what I found out, because it's not just our 3 homes. Wendy Enns, she had a $42,000 loss on June 29th. And a $24,000 loss on July 16th. She had a structural engineer in today to assess her house on the very corner of 3rd Avenue Southwest, east of the courthouse. She's off of work right now because of stress leave with what's all going on. Next to her, Deborah Strickland. She had 5 feet of water in June, 3 feet in July. She lives right next door at 50 3rd Avenue Southwest. Totally has disrupted her life, still dealing with insurance. Marshall Dupuy, he's not here, but he rents at 37 3rd Avenue Southwest. And he had 2 feet and then 1.5 feet. And he lost his possessions, lots of them. Insurance won't cover him because he can't get overland flooding because it happens too many times here. Peter and Bernice Olson live right next door at 39 3rd Avenue Southwest, and they had water all around the house. But she said they were lucky because they got sandbags and they covered their 3 windows. Otherwise, they would have had water in the basement, just like they did in 2020. The Legion, they had water 1 inch from the back door. They just renovated June 13th. Imagine what that would have looked like. You know that the Wahoskis had seepage in their basement. Annette and Stephen had in theirs. Lyle Copine had water on the main floor. At 4th Avenue Southwest, you've heard from Heidi. Shauna Brown, she lives on 2nd Avenue Southwest. Her entire basement flooded the first time and 3/4 the second time in July. Her backyard was a complete lake. All of us, contribute to this community. And we just feel we deserve this short-term fix of clearing out the silt to slow down the water, keep it in its banks. I know if this happened on any of your land, you'd fix it in a heartbeat, and then we're just asking you to do the same for us. Thanks to the counselors that came out on Saturday. And then I invite the other 4 of you to come to the area, knock on our door. We will walk with you and show you and explain. We want to work with you, but it's 6 years now, and we just get the feeling that it's past the buck, past the buck. Oh, past the buck. Oh, time for a new council, let them deal with it. Like we're tired of this, just tired. And I said it all through the July meeting, needs to be a bowl, right now it's a plate, can't hold water. And you know, like, we just think Public Works could have this done in a morning. Set the date, you're the bosses, we elected you to be the bosses. And get this request fulfilled that we asked for 6 years ago, that's all we want. Just, that's not a hard. Not an expensive request, heard you had some surpluses in 25. You already pay the employees. That's all, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a resolution. We will accept you folks being here. We'll do that first. So resolution moved by Councillor Landry, second by Councillor Taylor. That the presentation concerning overland flood repairs and silt accumulation in the valley be received. If there is no further questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And we will, again, we have a meeting coming up. And we're gonna discuss all that, and we're waiting on government information as well. And we'll look into this whole situation about the RM being able to do stuff on their own, because I'm not sure they can change waterways without permission. Because that changes the scope of things and puts liability on those that change water rights. Anyway, we will look into that and get back to you guys.
When's your next meeting that we can attend?
Well, we're having the flood mitigation meeting September 12th.
Is that open to the public to listen?
I don't know, it's one with the landowners and or the municipality and landowners, so I would say probably not. Because of that, but the next council meeting after that, if we have,
Yeah, well, you can double check for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let us know, thank you.
Thank you.
okay, you know,
But what we're asking you to do isn't changing the waterway, we're asking you to remove what was put there, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Story.
So now we'll have a public hearing, so we have a resolution to recess the regular meeting and hold the public hearing. So moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Butler. Be resolved that the regular meeting of council be recessed to allow council to hold a public hearing to receive representations for any person who wishes to make them in respect to the following. To reduce the minimum required side yard from 15 feet to 12 feet and reduce the minimum required front yard from 25 feet to 11 feet in the residential single RS zone to build a wraparound veranda. Questions or comments? Oh, I think
Yes, please.
we'll let Adam speak first and then we can.
Okay, application variation order number D 260081 was submitted on July 7th, 2026. The proposal is to vary the minimum required front yard from 25 feet to 11 feet and the required side yard from 15 feet to 12 feet for the construction of a wraparound veranda to restore the original look and aesthetic of the development. Public notice was distributed in accordance with section 169 of the Planning Act, mailed to the subject property owner and all property owners within 100 meters of the affected site, a minimum of 42 days prior to this public hearing.
Okay. Yes, Councilor Dawson.
I'm totally in favor of this and at the last Canada Crossing, there was no objections.
Awesome.
I don't have any issues with the intent of the change. My concern is the actual application itself. The drawings speak to measurement of 8 feet and 11 feet. I see 12 feet written. I would also like to know whether the front is facing fourth or whether it's facing second.
Basic second.
The front face is second.
So we're going from 25 to an existing 8, which already exists. Is that correct? That's what the diagram says. That's my concern.
Yeah, it asks for
And-
12 and then it goes to 8.
Yeah, and then the side speaks to 11. So basically the numbers in the drawing and what's in the application don't jive. That's, I just would like to see that resolved. I don't have any problems with the notion of a veranda around the house.
They won't have.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 8 feet is to an existing bay limit.
Yeah,
The wall of, the existing wall of the porch is set back to 11 feet.
Yeah.
Right? So to extend that further north, they're maintaining that same wall line at 11 feet from the side.
yeah, no, I understand.
So that's why they're fine to be 11 feet from the side.
Alright.
The
And then
front,
the 12.
the existing.
It asks for 12, but it shows,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
shows 8 at one part and 11 at another.
Yeah, that was small clarification between the diagram line here, well.
So it shows the button all in.
Yeah, that's,
Right, so the side yard would go to 12. Oh, sorry, 11.
okay,
So it should be 11 and then 12.
Yeah.
yes.
I had no issues with the application amendment.
I just wanted to, Leona, you live next door here. Are you here because you're opposed to it or in favor?
No, I want them there,
You want them,
and I
okay.
want the house to look like up to the specs, because it kind of got run down and was.
Yeah, no,
Well.
I just wanted to check.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
It's definitely an improvement over what it was, I used to walk by it on a daily basis and. An upstairs window was open all the time, didn't matter what time of year,
Oh, good.
yes,
On the north side.
no, the window on the south side, I'm pretty sure. I
Oh,
think, yeah, yeah, I think there was a heat source going all of them.
Any other questions for Adam?
Was there any objections received from under the?
No, there's. I apologize for that, I should have.
yeah.
Right.
We'll talk in the morning.
They got the home.
So you guys are in favor of anything else to add to what Adam was?
Yeah.
Okay, then,
It's a resolution.
sorry,
Yes, do I need to change the
It's later
oh,
on.
yes.
Is the resolution correct, Adam?
No, their resolution is 11 and 12 feet, as I recall.
Yes, this
Yes.
reduce the minimum side yard from 15 feet to 12. Now,
Yes.
is that changing?
So
So,
that
yeah.
could have been on that.
Yeah,
Okay, and then front yard from 25 feet to 11.
To 11.
So they're both 11,
Yes,
okay. Thank you, I will update that. On all of that.
Is there, if there's no more questions for Adam? We're good. Anybody here to oppose this? No?
No.
Okay. No, just checking, we have to check. So,
I received the letter, I think maybe sent to wrong address because I nobody belong to this page.
We have your neighbor?
No, we 114. Or something really little bit down,
Oh, you're within that radius.
yeah,
So anyone within 330 feet gets a notice.
so it's everybody did just
Within a certain radius, it's 300 feet.
like all blocks.
Yeah, sure, then you, 230 feet, if you're in that.
What you gonna do,
Then you'll get a notice about this application.
what you gonna do with this area?
You could oppose
you could oppose it if you wanted to say, no, you don't want it to happen.
and voice your opinion.
But
Well, depend,
you could look out your window and see it when it's done.
no, I don't
That's basically
understand
the
that.
idea.
Sorry, sorry.
So you can look out your window and probably see it when it's done. So you're basically told that it's gonna happen.
No,
That's-
I wanna know what's going
Yeah.
on and why it's just because
That's why,
yeah,
and they're gonna put a porch around the house. And it's basically, we have to say it's okay. So, and if you have something against it. You're being asked to say, but you don't.
But I received the same letter and I don't understand why I received this letter.
Because you live close enough, within a radius.
No, I don't mind it.
Okay, you just received the notice because you're in the radius of people that they have to notify.
I listen, I
legally.
understand everything, but I didn't understand why I'm
Yeah.
here because it's not belong.
You don't have to be, really.
No, you know, like I respond to letters,
Yeah.
I receive a letter and then I wanna know what's going on,
Yeah.
so like.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do
Okay.
come out in that radius that are against what somebody's doing.
Oh,
This
yes,
gives them a chance to speak and counsel to hear their opposition.
okay.
Yeah,
I
For
remember
negotiation.
speaking to people and you know, like I listen and they, Okay, but then was it was nice to attend the meeting, so.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah. Okay, so any other questions? Everybody understands the resolution's changed and it's 11 feet now instead of 12? Okay, do you want me to, anybody want me to read it again?
No.
You're all good? Thank you for that, but I meant no. Okay.
You learn.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
All right.
You know,
Thank you.
we will,
Thanks, Adam.
Thank
Morning.
You bet.
we will have a resolution to close the hearing and resume open session, so.
It's Tom Levitt, he can fix it for you.
Tom, who?
Levitt. LEVICH.
Thank you. We have a resolution here, Councillor Blake. Moved by Councillor Landry, second by Councillor Butler. Whereas all representatives in regards to matters listed below have been dealt with to reduce the minimum required side yard from 15 feet to 11 feet and reduce the minimum required front yard from 25 feet to 11 feet in the residential single RS zone to build a wraparound veranda. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing be concluded and council resume its regular meeting at 6:11. No further questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. I'm assuming you wrote down the time of the first one, because I forgot that.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's actually.
One step ahead.
Okay, so moving forward, we go right into old business. So the resolution to bring back resolution 2026-151, the Assiniboine West Watershed District. Moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Butler. Any questions on that resolution? I guess I gotta read it first. Whereas resolution number 2026-151, the Assiniboine West Watershed District had been tabled at the June 23rd, 2026 regular meeting of council. Therefore, be it resolved that resolution number 2026-151 be brought back to the table. Any questions on that?
We're just bringing it back to the table.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. So that takes us to the next resolution of the Assiniboine West Watershed, moved by. It's already been moved, we're just bringing it back here, so it's moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Taylor. I'll read the resolution, whereas the Assiniboine West Watershed District had been under scrutiny concerning project funding, procurement practice and project awards. And whereas the rural municipality of Riding Mountain West has submitted a resolution to the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Midwestern District meeting held June 17, 2026, requesting the following disclosures at minimum. Source of funding, municipal, provincial, federal, and other. The amount of funding received, the purpose and location of each project. Any municipal financial contributions or in-kind support involved, and whereas that resolution has been defeated, therefore be it resolved that the town of Minnedosa is no longer interested in being a part of the Assiniboine West Watershed District. And further be it resolved that administration notify Assiniboine West Watershed District and request a prorated return of submitted levies. Questions, concerns, Councillor Dawson.
I'm in favor of disbanding or getting rid of this because Assiniboine Watershed, I think, was a situation of a unhappy board member. And I do not believe that the problems that are actual problems. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor, I had Councillor Barton and I had Councillor Mark.
I'm going to be voting that we defeat this motion. The reason being is that I attended a meeting through a video conference with the GM, who the allegations were pointed towards and the board. He addressed each of the allegations.
yes, some of the situations there, the allegations should have been addressed, because it was, as an example, the credit card. Credit card is using a personal credit card to do the watershed business, but that had been going on for years. All those repayments are sent to the board approves them, they understand them. So now they have made changes, and the board is now issuing their own company credit card. As far as the other allegations of the general manager receiving funds, yes, he has done that. But he is a believer in being part of doing what he says and practice what he preaches. But all the applications go to a board or a committee, and they are approved by that board and by the committee, which he is not part of. So I think that we should continue to support them. I believe that they have made a number of changes to the way that they tender, because the tendering process was not up to municipal standards or for provincial standards, but they have made some changes to that. There was a rationale for it, for that, in that when they're building their berms and their dikes, they tend to do it on a per hour basis, and they deal with people that they've already dealt with. But they are now going to implement a tendering process for the projects. So I think they have addressed the concerns that were put forward, and I still think that the board should have been more vocal on this and come forward, but they haven't. But I think we should stick with the watershed district. I also think we need to stick with them because of some of our own situations and trying to deal with the flood mitigation. We need to work with the arm of Mississauga, and we have to work with the watershed district.
Right on.
You have some-
I'll agree that it would be foolish to leave the watershed district. I still have issues of the 5 years of ignoring mandatory, well, provincially mandated tendering for anything over $20,000, and basically close to $500,000 over 5 years going to family members' business in the absence of tendering.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think we should be defeating this here also. But I do think that we should be scrutinizing, at some point in time, still within the next year or the next couple of meetings, and just to make sure that their feet are being held to the fire, especially in the tendering situation being, something I thought that was really out of whack for what they were doing. Making sure that they're doing what they said they were going to be doing, as far as making sure they have the credit card and their finances are brought up to date. But other than that, yeah, I think it can serve our purpose.
Any other comments or concerns or questions?
I do agree with Mark. I do the question.
Okay. All right, anything else? Then I call the question, all in favor? Opposed?
Oh, we figured it out.
Defeated. So under new business, we have the variation application, whereas a public hearing for variation number Z 26260081 had been held this day to receive information in support or not in favor with regards to reduce the minimum required side yard from 15 feet to 11 feet and reduce the minimum required front yard from 25 feet to 11 feet in the residential single RS zone to build a wraparound veranda. Therefore, be it resolved that the variation application to Z 26-260081 be approved. Any further questions on that?
Do you need a seconder or first?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself again. I haven't been here for 2 months.
Yeah, we know this. Yeah,
So I didn't get a mover or a seconder?
no. So
Okay,
I will move.
Okay, got a move by Council Dowsett, second by Council Blade. Sorry, guys.
And whatever you said to figure out.
And I read it, so you have,
Yeah, or just, again, I tend to agree with this one here and looking at everything, gone through the yard and, or taken a look at the house and the yard and the, information. But I just find it frustrating that we wound up, we have this planning district and we have, our rules and regulations that we're supposed to follow, and yet it just seems as though we have a variance coming up all the time, and it's always going against everything that we discussed and we made the book up, we made all the rules up. But yet we can't find where we can come together.
Okay, Council Marks.
In that regard,
Mhm.
basically, it's an old house,
Mhm.
to look at the lot and the home. The house was basically in the, whatever it would be, the northeast corner of the lot, and the rest of it was.
Northwest corner,
Huh?
north, southwest corner.
Yeah, I know,
No,
but
it's in the
northwest corner.
northeast corner of the lot.
Yeah.
But the house is in the northeast corner of the lot.
Of the lot. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, he wasn't-
No, wasn't there.
Yeah,
Saying-
But, and basically put in that far corner, basically, because the rest of it was a garden, and probably ate out of it.
Oh, the Hollicks ate there forever, like they had a humongous garden all
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that was two lots.
Huh?
That was two
I
lots.
was there when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the resolution.
Yeah, please.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, do what's right.
Okay, excuse me, appointment of auditor resolution moved by Councillor Butler, second by Councillor Taylor. Whereas section 184(1) of the municipal act require council to appoint an auditor no later than August 31st of each year. Therefore, be it resolved that Myers, Norris and Penny, MNP, be appointed as the town's auditors for the 2026 audit. Questions or concerns on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Question, yeah, we're appointing an auditor or we're accepting the auditor?
We're appointing the auditor.
For next
Next
year?
year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind, now we're good.
This is.
Yeah, I missed the year.
Now, audited financial statement for 2025, moved by Councillor Landry, second by Councillor Dowsett, that the 2025 audited financial statement provided and presented by MNP be approved as presented. Questions or comments on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, the next resolution, campground redevelopment resolution. Moved by Councillor Blaze, second by Councillor Dowsett. Whereas the Minidos Campground redevelopment project is in its tendering phase. And whereas the Minidos Parks and Recreation Board would be required to take out a loan to complete the redevelopment project. And whereas the Royal Bank of Canada requires a resolution of authority from town council providing a guarantee for the loan. Therefore, be it resolved that council of the town of Minidos authorize and guarantee a loan by way of a repayable grant or repayable financial assistance as per section 261 of the Municipal Act be obtained by the Minidos Parks Board from the Royal Bank of Canada for the purpose of completing the Minidos Campground redevelopment project under such terms and conditions as may be approved by the Royal Bank and acceptable to the town of Minnedosa. Further be it resolved that the mayor and CEO be authorized to execute all documents and excuse me, and agreements. Questions, comments on that? Councilor Landry.
So why is the resolution Royal Bank specific when in the past we've gone to Sunrise Credit Union for borrowing?
The Parks Board is with it, the Royal Bank.
Okay, but are
That's
we?
where the banking has been done for the, sorry.
So just because it's with Royal, the accounts are with Royal Bank?
Partly, yes, and then Sunrise Credit Union, is hesitant on giving a loan.
Okay.
Because we have, the Minnedosa Park and Recreations Board has no asset
Yeah,
to
okay,
put a lien on.
okay, thank you.
I think I had him first, Counselor Blade first, and then Counselor Marks, but
Yeah, this is, just to figure out the funding. This still hasn't been approved yet. There still is a couple of steps away yet from being able to do that. We're just trying to get ducks in a row so that in the event that this does happen, we have everything all lined up, but, this by no means is to say this is a sure thing. We're still waiting to hear for tenders so that we can find out what we're gathering, still gathering all the information so that we can make an educated decision as opposed to not having all the information and not being able to do it.
okay, Counselor Marks.
I'm vehemently opposed to this parcel loan guarantee resolution. I posed the question to both the MSO and the municipal finance officer in this regard. I'm still waiting a response. I've gotten one response from the finance officer, and he didn't answer my question. My thought is any borrowing done by the town should go through notice and hearing and a bylaw. The resolution by. So per the audit that we just reviewed, the Minnedosa Parks and Recreation Board is a wholly controlled entity of the town. So basically, as far as the consolidated statement is concerned, Parks Board is the town. If we're gonna borrow $1 million, we should do it by bylaw, and we should basically put it in front of everybody else that we're doing it. Just passing a resolution, we're bypassing basically our borrowing. If we make a mistake on a borrow, this is about the only place in the municipal law where members of council are wholly held and can be responsible for any fiscal mistakes.
Thank you, Roger.
Realistically, we can have a bylaw first reading at the next meeting. For borrowing bylaw, let's.
Just makes sense what we're talking about.
Huh?
That's not what we're talking about.
This is a resolution to basically bypass the borrowing bylaw. It is.
It's another way of doing business.
Speak against if you want, that's what we're doing, so that's his
I got
perspective.
it.
Anybody else wanna speak?
I just wanted to say that this is a project that, has been gone through before I got here. It's not something that's brand new. This is something that started back when the campground was expanded with the horseshoe
That's
area.
not what he's saying though.
I don't have.
I understand that. I'm just making a statement. I'm not arguing against you. I'm just making a statement, okay, not against or for what you're saying. I'm just pointing something else out. If we don't do this, this probably won't get done.
I'm not against the project.
Yeah.
My issues were.
It's a method.
Yeah, and I'm not speaking against what you were
borrowing
talking about.
Is my concern.
I'm still not speaking against what you were talking about.
Okay. So.
I was just in favor of this
Yeah.
Particular thing, and I think it's something that's good for the town.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
and basically,
You're just saying
I
that you
just-
don't like the way it's being done.
yes.
Right, and I understand that.
So.
I'm just
okay.
saying this is one way of doing it, and this is the way.
All
that
right,
we've
just
chosen to
hang
do it.
on a second, we're talking about two different things here.
Please.
You agree with this, that's right, he's talking about the way we're doing it.
Yeah,
That's totally separate.
Borrowing.
You guys are arguing about things that are totally
Well,
separate.
all I said was I just
Yeah.
have
You
a
agree
different
with
way of
this
seeing it,
resolution.
Yeah.
He's disagreeing with this resolution, that's fine.
and that's fine.
I mean, basically, the fire that happened behind the dairy hall, if that were to happen with the campground, which is a very good possibility, there's a lot of points of ignition in the campground. Right? Liability falls with the town. I'm saying, let's put the responsibility to the town where it belongs, as opposed to putting it to the board. Which is something that we wholly own.
Okay, we understand your perspective, anybody else have anything to say? Councilor Butler.
Does the administration have any comments on this as to what is going to best serve to get the project done? And I understand what both are saying, and to a certain degree.
It can be done either way, a borrowing bylaw, we can get it proceeded for the election. Not that it's a concern, but it's going to be re-educating the new members of council. It can be done, I can, like Councilor Marr said, I can have a bylaw ready to go at the next meeting, we have the public hearing in between the 2 weeks of council. And then, once we're in following the right dates, and then we have second reading sent to the municipal board. The only thing is, the municipal board could hold us up. I can ask and push and see if we can get it done quicker. Parks Board does have funding in the account to pay for any costs of construction that we could receive before final project and final approval of borrowing. But we are taking the risk of not being approved by the municipal board and going ahead with the project. That's a concern. I don't see the municipal board giving us a negative response because we have that amount of money in our borrowing power.
And we've got it there.
I just have another question, Frank, you might be able to answer this, because you said on the Evergreen Board had to borrow money numerous times, and it all went through the RM of Minto Dana. Correct. And basically, they gave the RM of Minto Dana guaranteed that money, which is exactly what we are asking for here, is that correct?
Right.
So it's, no, it hasn't been done before.
But we did have to get approvals from the Sunrise Credit Union.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's right, I mean,
That's what we're doing here too, though.
Right, yeah, so it's, what I'm saying is, it's a board outside that's run by municipalities. Getting a guarantee from one, and they only got the guarantee from one RM. In order to move forward to borrow the funds that was all, which they're still doing with the. Shredder and this other project, they may ask a letter of support from us, because I mentioned that at previous meetings, but it's the RM that is basically getting. Guaranteed the loan. So it's been done in the past.
We're not inventing the wheel.
To that point, okay. We have a 19% interest in Evergreen, we have 100% interest.
Yeah, yes, yeah. But I'm just saying the procedure
Is the same.
is the same.
And we did have to increase tipping fees too.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess my question based on his concerns and what I'm hearing.
Garbage is forever.
If we,
Campground?
okay, I have a question right now, please. My question then would be. His concern is that we become totally liable individually, is that the case? But that is even with the bylaw or no?
That would even be if you did it the other way anyway. We're
Yeah,
still the ones that are on.
That's my question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The municipal board is approving your bylaw to borrow
That's right.
Right,
But if
in
you
that
don't,
case, so. My understanding of it is the only to be off of you because the municipal board approved your bylaw to do that borrowing.
Right.
So it would be on both of the town. The town would be,
no one is would be on any council appointment.
if you do it this way, let's say now, yes, but if the municipal board approves us to borrow.
Yes, then we're
It's-
off the.
Yeah, we gave them all the information and we said we have the income to do it.
okay, Councilor Dan.
So saying that, should we not go in the right direction? I mean, I'm not that I'm not for this, but I'm absolutely agree with what Robert said, because I do think we need to get our ducks in order. And like I say, if we get the first reading done by next week, it depends on how much, like, that's when it's actually pretty close to that done. Because we have on like, thought we needed done before. I think that we gotta go that route. I personally think, and I agree with what Francis. You know, this is just a little bit different.
Okay, so what I'm hearing then is we're better protected doing the bylaw and you can do it in time?
That's all what I heard.
For the next meeting, I can have first reading.
Yes.
For the next meeting,
Right,
yes,
But-
and then we hold our public hearing and.
Yeah. yeah.
But the timeline changes.
It does, it extends the loan process, it's gonna depend on the municipal board, like, we can get our part done. It's gonna be the municipal board.
Yeah.
But being in September, we often as CAOs send our bylaws to the municipal court ahead of time, to their secretaries to make sure we are all correct. And then it goes to the board to make a decision. We probably have it in time before all these special levies get in from all the other municipalities doing their budgets, so hopefully it wouldn't be too long. But that's the uncertainty, is how long that will take. That's all.
Tell us about.
So we really don't know about what the scope of money that we're gonna be asked to
No.
borrow, correct?
We haven't passed that yet.
So are we putting the cart before the horse?
We're
We
just
don't
getting
know if we can
reduction
even
of-
afford this. That's right. At
You're
the
right.
end of the day,
You're right.
so it may come in at, I don't know, $5 million.
Right.
And we're gonna go,
None of us are gonna go for it then.
So, by example. We, pretty sure for the arena, we basically pre-approved for 3.5 and we borrowed what?
1.5.
1 point, okay,
Something like that.
so basically, we have a rough idea of what an over is. We make the bylaw to, so peak amount we're gonna borrow is what, 1.3?
For where?
5,
For this year?
okay, yes.
I'm hoping 1.4.
Okay, so we
Right around there.
make the borrowing bylaw for 1.5 million, that covers overages.
Danielle, and then I have Council Land.
So the tender closes on August 27th. It is going to come to council to approve the contractor at the next meeting. At that, we will know
Oh,
Dollar.
Yeah.
we'll move on.
at that meeting, and if something is delayed and we can't get approved at the next meeting, we can put a number in and then amend it at second reading to what the tender was that was approved.
Right.
Cause then that is the reason why.
Okay.
So it can be done without actually knowing a dollar value rate now.
Council Land, you're good?
Um,
Everybody's okay with that if we go that route?
So what do you wanna do with this resolution?
Well. Is everybody okay with going that route? And then we can either just defeat this resolution or
beat this for now or table it. If we
it's
did,
best to defeat it. Tabling it is, yeah, I think if we're gonna defeat it, we defeat it, yeah. It makes sense to me if we can do it in time and we'll have more numbers.
I'm just worried about time.
Yeah,
We'll be
I
fine.
know.
Yeah,
We have what, 650,000 to spend before we borrow the money?
so everybody's on board with that? We're talking about defeating and next meeting we'll have the bylaw come in and do it that way?
so
Okay, then I'll call the question. We're good? Okay, I'll call the
Okay.
question. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated.
Thank you.
Tax sale reserve bid. Resolution there, moved by Counselor Gossett, second by Counselor Taylor. Whereas pursuant to section 372 of the municipal act, the municipality may set a reserve bid in the amount of the tax arrears and costs in respect of a property proposed for tax sale. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Minnedosa place a reserve bid on all such properties in the amount of all arrears and costs in respect of the property. Questions or comments? Councilor Landry.
So in the shared notes, it says the owner just paid August 17th. Did they pay a significant portion or how far in arrears are they still? And
There's still over $2,000 in arrears. We go have a tax on.
Any other questions? Council Black.
Is there an address on this or?
yes, it is.
22 Victoria Bay.
Pardon me?
22 Victoria.
Bay. It's basically looking towards the river, it's the trailer that abuts the house, the next house. Which one?
22 Victoria Bay.
Trailer on a corner, it's got a garage behind it.
It's facing the river though?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on the other side, okay.
Yeah, it's on the, what would be,
I know exactly.
yeah, it's that.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, moving on, financial business. First resolution, financial statements, moved by Councillor Landry, second by Councillor Dowsett. Be resolved that the June and July 2026 financial statements for the town of Minnedosa be approved as presented. Questions or comments? Councillor Dowsett.
On the actual, it's we've heard that's a lot of the insurance.
Yes,
Was that any? Did we not have the foresight? Well, it's just suddenly it's off.
we don't get the invoice till our budget is passed, so they told us approximately 9% increase across the board to all municipalities. Ours came in higher than that. And that wasn't expected.
And there was nothing that we could have expected or done. Okay, is that number kind of, holy moly, we already heard to this, and we're at 23%.
Yeah, like this will be it, there'll be no more.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
it basically-
Mr. Fire,
Done.
good. Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. General operating account resolution moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Landry. Be resolved that the general accounts for the month of July 2026 in the amount of $896,036.46 and including the check numbers 7031 through 7138 and July payroll be approved. Questions or comments on the general operating? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Utility operating. Resolution there moved by Councillor Taylor, second by Councillor Dowsett.
Hold on.
Oh,
and then.
You were pointing, okay, sorry, Councillor Marks, I didn't, Grant Chad was in the.
And it was just Johnny.
Moved by Councillor Taylor, second by Councillor Marks. Be it resolved that the utility accounts for the month of July 2026 in the amount of $717,626.27 and including the check numbers 2386 through 2419 and July payroll be approved. Questions or comments on the utility operating? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. And Minnedosa Parks Board. Moved by Councillor Blais, second by Councillor Dowsett. Be resolved that the July 2026 financial statements for the Minnedosa Parks and Recreation Board be approved as presented. Questions, comments on the Parks Board? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Reports. I have none and I see no others here. So we'll just keep moving. Oh,
I just had our library board meeting.
okay.
And it was a fantastic weekend for us down there. We took in, I think, between the book sales, over 1,360 books. And our travel lottery, we did over 5,000 on that. But on the other hand, our furnace, the furnace come out in the town building, in the library. So I'm just, it's probably going to be, it's a wash. It's about 30 years old. And so it's going to have to be replaced.
Okay, need another bookstore.
I'm sorry?
Need another bookstore.
I don't know, yeah, I don't know, I think there was, yeah, it's all burn the focus.
And that's a gas furnace, right?
It's, no, it's not.
It's electric.
Yes. What? It's, so it's gonna be, I think they got some costs, estimated costs. They're just looking at estimated costs. Chad Burton's in to look at it. I think it's going to be.
Any other questions?
$30,000. That's some we're gonna have to come up with.
Okay.
I just wanna say it was a great weekend this weekend, all the work that went into by all the volunteers and things like that. Everything looked fantastic. The town was busy. There was a lot of people around. Uh, Tourism or CDC or the board took care, did an absolutely excellent job. Heritage Village on Sunday had a fantastic turnout. And, everything went well over there, so I just kudos to everybody that was involved in that.
Okay. So under other, we have a couple items. I'm assuming that's for information.
Is there anything
Do we need to go in camera?
There's nothing listed here, so I assume that
Oh,
we
okay.
need to.
Oh, okay, no, okay, I'm sorry.
It's always on the agenda, but
I
there's
thought-
nothing listed
yeah,
for
okay.
it.
I thought
We
these
have
were-
nothing to go in camera for you?
I have nothing to share.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Okay, under other, sorry.
No, go ahead, no, sorry. No, keep going.
Well, I just, there's two items under other there and share notes if there's any questions, I guess is what we're,
Okay, I do have a question.
okay?
Under the Cannish Crossing, burn project and after the two presentations at the last two council meetings. We need to do something.
No.
And, I guess my question is. What was discussed tonight and discussed, at last council meeting was removing that silt and. Yes, there is a lot of silt there and it is building up and it builds up every rain. It just keeps increasing. So I guess the question I would have. To the town administration is that after the 20, whenever the first rain event was.
2020.
We cleaned out the ditches, et cetera, onto the north.
Yep.
But we did not clean it out. To the south. Coming down that ravine. And I did sit in a meeting, and I've had this conversation with Danielle, with the Tophams and with our former CAO saying it was going to happen. But it never happened. I think that. That silt has come in there because of the flood. It has. Gathered layers. And at the very least, we should take it down to pre-flood 20 levels. Now, I know that there may not be. I don't know what the cost is, I don't know if we have the equipment to do that. I don't know if our loader could go in there and do that. But I think time is of the essence because we still are in the rain season. And we could still end up with having another rain event. And I think we need to do something there, whether we. Redirect money, I know, or do we have money, I don't know what it's gonna cost, but. We need to do something in that area. To bring it back to the original. Depth.
I have people that council marks at.
I know it's been said, the removal of silt is not something that. We can handle.
What do you mean?
Why not?
What do you mean?
That's been the feedback I've gotten.
We took it, we've taken silt out of there for years. And we 35, we used to haul truckloads of silt out of there after floods areas. The loader went in, Cooper, Terry, team, those guys went in, cleaned that thing up. Absolutely made it look. Prestige. It's, and I'm saying, I do think that probably a backhoe would be the best thing, so you can shape it a lot better. But we used to clean that silt out of there all the time.
I think the last time was 94.
And yeah, there was like that. Yeah, we had another one maybe 16 years ago, 16 years ago, we spring that. And
Yeah,
I go back in there and do
Yeah.
So, did you have more than?
I would say water going through there is definitely exacerbated. On both the 29th. And the 16th, the two flood events. We had water going over 9th Avenue. So basically, technically, we have two berms in front of that location. We have 9th Avenue, a culvert going underneath it. It fills back, and then there's the walkway. Behind the hospital.
Which adds the silt.
Huh?
Which added silt.
Well, it's.
Right.
Not a significant amount, if you actually look at, I know it's come away, but apparently much of that degradation occurred in 2020.
Yes, that's fact. Yeah, but they redid it.
Huh?
They rebuilt it after the 2020 flood.
I don't believe they did, so, they did?
What are you calling me a liar?
I'm asking for evidence otherwise, is what I'm saying.
I'm not calling him lying right now.
What I'm saying is, it is. From what Topham has information provided to me, and pictures and the like. Is that there was an issue so a year later, it was pretty much in the condition that it is now. Probably a little better, but there were still significant amounts of exposed geotextile above the culvert. On the north side of the walkway.
I mean, we're saying it's so. No, that's, the.
Not be on the north side, well, no, it's torn out on the north side of the walkway. The south side, the integrity of the south side is pretty good, it's all raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right back.
On the one behind the hospital.
Huh? Yeah, the one behind the hospital.
Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
Now, basically, I'm in the midst of collecting all the photos and video that Top I'm gonna supply to me, I'm gonna put it into a photo album and basically make it linkable so that y'all can see what's there. But basically, images are such that you've got, you said 6-8 inches of water going over 9, probably 40 or 50 feet wide. And then we've got images of the walkway, basically, so the culvert fully flowing, and then it's going over the top. Oh, but that was also happening 2016, excuse me, on the 16th and the 29th. So basically, more water coming from north than, regardless of taking up that sill, it is not going to make a difference. It'll be relatively insignificant. For water to basically be coming across 9th Avenue, we've got probably 8 or 9 cubic meters a second going. There's no way in hell that little 4x6 box is gonna handle it. That's going underneath that.
Okay, you're talking two different things. Are you
Well,
talking
water
about?
goes to water, goes to water. So basically, you've got 9 filled up, then you've got behind the walkway filled up. And then it just flows, and it must have flowed for probably 3 hours. On both events, okay. The volume of water behind the walkway is significantly more than what we'd be scooping out, so.
Okay, so I think we've got your point, and I've got people with their hands up, so we're gonna move on to hear their perspective, so we can keep moving here. So I have Council Blade and Council Dowsett have his hand up, and then Council Butler.
Yeah, the silt that's going back in there now has come to its, and the silt is higher than the backyard on whatever the lady's house is, Fords, I think.
Like, no, that's it.
Gift or something, yeah. So like it's easier for the water to go to their house than it is to go into the drain.
That's right, yeah.
And we do need to dig that out and get that back to a workable thing. Maybe we need to put some riprap in it, whatever it is, and get it all built back up. We need to get that walkway built, and maybe we need to use some of our clay that we have and build that up a little bit more, put one of those upside down culverts in on the other side so that we're only releasing as much as we can. But the other part is that I'm saying that these are emergency repairs and we're just bringing things back to the way they were. We don't need to have, and I'm sorry you're not gonna agree, but I don't think we need to have engineer drawings to do that, just to bring back something that is, we're just bringing it back to its original state. We're not doing anything, we're not inventing anything here. We're just doing what needs to be done to make it what it was. We're not. And we need to do it now.
When you go there and walk on the silt and mark your grid, Robert, it is higher than the culvert. Right?
Yeah.
So how is that culvert supposed to work? It can't, and that's why you have dispersed in different directions. Right, since 2020, then I dragged you guys along there and we've had this discussion and it needs to be, as that had been done before it. taken down. It's higher than the culverts, so it's really a problem.
Hey, that's 3/4 that have all said the exact same thing.
Hey, Council Butler.
So again, I agree with Councilor Marks, it may not be the long-term solution.
No.
Or the big solution, for sure. But I still think we should bring it back to what it was in 2020. Now. I don't know how we do that, I'm not a construction person, whether it be with town crew, and if the town crew don't have time, then we need to hire somebody to do it. So if we don't have the funds, what I'm suggesting, I'm not saying that the project that we had approved is not important. But maybe we should relook at moving that money, that allocation of $200,000. And hiring somebody ASAP to go in there and remove that silt and. Put up those, that I agree with a cement barrier or something to shore up that road so somebody doesn't fall in. And as a higher priority than in the Tanner's Crossing Park, because we can shore that up quicker than we can at that end, and I think we need to remove that silt, so I would like to us move forward in that direction.
Council Lambert.
What is the liability on the town if we go and remove that silt? Is it bringing it back to pre-flood conditions with like just bringing the landscape back to what it was, no alterations? Or is it considered an alteration and would that make the town liable for anything that happens downstream of that from that point forward?
That I can answer with confidence. I don't know if we know or have pictures, and other people do, of what 2020 looks like.
Got that too.
Okay, so. For 2020. This is 6 years later for us to change the waterway. Now is going to put all that water in a bank. You're going to erode the sides. You're holding, well, you're not going back yet, you're just releasing more. I honestly couldn't tell you what our liability is if that water moves faster through there, because we removed it. We could have an issue. If it moves slower, great. I'm not an engineer, I answer that question.
But from a legal point of view,
A legal point of view, I would seek Stantec's expertise when they come, which I talked to them, not Stantec today, but EMO and getting them on here. But
We're also liable.
Well,
We are.
no, you're not responsible to protect personal property.
Well, if you just above the bank, this has nothing to do with the bank on either side. And it's not where it's being cleaned out, it's more of the south or the north than the south part where there's holes.
Yes, but if we do something wrong and that diverts the water, say right into this.
It's not going to hurt nothing because it's the same water flow as it's been all along for decades. And I know you're disagree with that.
No,
But-
it's not decision, if you wanna go ahead without any.
I'll ask you a question.
One second.
So your comment about water flow is the same for decades, but I would say this, do you think that water would flow over 9th Avenue? In a 3-inch rain event?
It has
10
before.
10 years ago.
Well, and you're alluding to the fact that you feel that there's more water coming. Is that what you're alluding to?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Well, and that, you need the engineers to come in. And that's not anything what we're talking about. What, or speaking for myself, what I'm talking about is just cleaning up what's been brought here and what exists. I'm not talking about changing the route of the water flow, not changing flow. It's just that we have to, when the silt, et cetera, are higher than buildings.
Well, yeah, it definitely affects the dike property, for sure.
Yeah, Councilor Blake.
And in answer to Danielle here, wondering about the liability, I think is what she's pointing towards here. We're not doing anything other than bringing it back to its original state, in which way we're not. Or
we're responsible.
Ultimately,
we're just bringing it back to what it was, we're not doing anything different.
Removing the silt basically just increases the whole back capacity of what's there by a minimum amount.
So,
Is what it does.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
correct.
Yeah, that's it, so get it out of there.
my,
Still, we're doing something.
again, I guess we're starting to go in circles here, and I think that a lot of us would like to see the silt removed. Is there anybody like our lawyers or somebody you could ask to say whether putting it back to original, just removing the silt to original? Is okay to do, if they used to do it, I suspect, like, I don't know whether they did that. By rules or not, and obviously a lot of the water that's coming here from south was done against the rules anyway, but. Is there somebody you could ask to get us an answer? That if we just remove the silt to where it used to be?
I will contact emergency measures
Okay,
and, water resources with the province.
okay,
And ask them if we need any sort of permit or licensing.
okay. Just to remove the silt, just to put it back to where it was.
Yes, I will
Because
find out.
I could see that possibly the RN was doing that. I can't see them doing a lot of major changes without the engineer studying.
To speak to Ms. Topham, yes, municipality can, so if you have a major road that is blown out.
Right.
You can get
Yep.
somebody that builds roads to come in and fix that.
Yeah.
My concern is with that area, that is also provincial
Right.
ditch. So I want them to be responsible to have to cover some of that cost, and it's all one drainage
Yeah.
system. So Stantec needs to come out and take a look at it.
No,
For that part, I agree with that, but for the silt removal, I'd like to ask the
Yeah.
question, so then we could figure out and make a decision. Council Buck.
No disrespect to administration, because you weren't involved. We've been down this road before.
yeah,
Exactly.
And we'll just keep going in circles. We keep talking about, we can't get, can't do this, we can't do that. And yet we flood, we've had 3 major floods and since 2020, we're 6 years in. We were supposed to have that cleaned up and it hasn't been done. And we're sitting here and we're gonna be another year. And I disagree with that. I think at some point in time, we gotta. I know about the liability and I understand, but I, at some point in time, we've gotta. We're not changing the route. We're not going through that lot like we thought we would like to do, because that is changing the route. And with that 100%. All we're doing is taking out the debris, no different if the debris filled in on the north side. We would have to, we took it all out. There was rocks, there was trees. We dug it all. We dug it all out. Town dug it all out. I'm just saying, we just go in on that, on the south side, on the road, and we take them. So layer the silt
Within the next
back
week.
down. Right away. That's my opinion. I think that, and I understand that we don't have, we're not necessarily responsible, but for people's property necessarily, but they are ratepayers, they're our citizens. And I think we have to do, we have other issues, like my daughter's basement flooded also, overland flooding. And there's been no discussion in the north end of town. Right,
And we do have north end residents on our list that.
Exactly, but this has an impact on, seems to be on a smaller amount of rain than what the north does. It seems to be able to handle a little bit better. 7 inches, we're gonna be pooped no matter where we are. And what this is not gonna help a 7-inch rain event. I understand.
I'd like to see us get started.
Okay, so moving forward then, like you're saying, if council chooses to do this, we can do this. And just the silt is that, so I would suggest that we would need a resolution to do that, right?
It's in the budget as flood mitigation.
Oh. So it could just, if council wants to do it, it could just happen, like we could just.
We're changing our direction, yes.
Okay.
So this project will go on hold.
We're gonna be covered with the vehicle. Should be.
I think you should try.
Yes. Yeah.
And also on the south side of nine, which is our problem, that should also be cleaned up. Because again, that's all brought in from the same mother cylinder.
If it's our property, and it's property in
So
there,
we shouldn't just.
silt that
limit it
moved in there. If
Between
we're gonna.
5th and 9th, we should also supplement.
I'm going
What was that, Tom?
to
Yes.
do a resolution.
Where's, what property is ours?
So that's-
That whole drainage ditch is ours.
On Burgess's side, you mean?
Yeah.
How far out is that?
Ours,
Yeah,
I think if you look on the, it's a lot, so.
You mean on the other side of number nine,
Yeah.
Ninth Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's look right now.
Yeah, it's not.
If you look at the property,
500 meters maybe.
yeah. But it has been brought up in pot. Again, it's just basically tidying up.
I think it's right behind the.
Look where there's,
office.
yeah,
That's where our property is, straight across.
When Jerry's at, well,
Okay.
Burgess is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Jerry's.
and the hydro, or
Jerry's.
school division,
Yeah. But I agree with Grant Butler 100%. We gotta get this, like, I mean, this is something we should have done years ago, it was discussed. And,
but it's,
and it just, yeah, never got done.
I think we're all like minded.
I'm sorry.
I said, I think we're all like minded on this, because we've been dealing with it for 6 years, and
Yeah. Well, we have $300,000 fucking study. Flood mitigation studies. That are sitting on the, we're gonna be, this one here that we've got now is gonna be expired here. Within the next year, so, and we still haven't done anything with it either, so.
and that you do need.
And all we do is this.
So we.
We'll keep getting hung up.
I just had one question about a comment that was made regarding the safety concerns about the road. Is that something Public Works is looking at to try and make safe? Because if it is a safety concern, I have to all with that.
I will have an assessment done on that.
Thank you.
It is.
Are they gonna look at it this week?
How much of it is ours?
For talking rate.
okay, so we have another resolution here. So moved by Counselor Dowsett, second by Counselor Butler. That council had decided to pause the Tanis Crossing flood mitigation and focus on the silt removal in valley southwest of town.
Thanks, so.
Questions or concerns on that?
Do we have to put in there a time frame that we'd like to see this started or completed within the next week or two?
I guess that's up to you.
I'd like to see it started within the next week or so. I don't know if that's possible, but if we can
Sailors could get in there.
get sailors in there, however it is, yeah.
We will do our best. It is in the
Yes.
budget.
Yes.
Flood
Thank
money.
you.
Thank you very much.
But
This is where you talk.
Yeah.
yes, I can't guarantee you, but we will do our best to see it.
This is fall now.
And possibly, can we not bring some of our,
This is ours. This is.
yeah, I'm not even on here, but can we not bring some of our employees?
Let's deal with this, let's get this done. Counselor Lang.
don't think that's great.
Can I,
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Counselor Lang.
can I request that an update email be sent to council once action is happening on this one, so we can be kept informed of this?
Sure.
I like that, thank you.
Okay, any other questions on this resolution? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Moving on.
Thank you.
Another one there for information, municipal waste management donation. They did their barbecue here and they're gonna match the funds. And is it, we deciding where the money goes? That's,
We do.
So-
Let me know, and then I will let them know.
where suggestions and I have Council Douglas and Council Lang.
I strongly believe they should go towards food bank,
For what, sorry?
Okay,
the food bank.
the MWM did a barbecue out here, so whatever they raise, they're gonna match and donate to something at our choice, so Council Lang.
Do they know how much the donation will be?
It's just over $1,000.
I have no issue with the food bank.
Everybody good with food bank?
No.
You're not?
But that's fine, if that- yeah. Yeah.
So do you have a suggestion where else then?
I don't have a suggestion, I
Okay.
didn't see that coming, but yeah, sorry, yeah, so,
Actually, I put it in the shared notes.
yeah, well, I didn't read yours.
So we're all okay with that for this year? Cause it's already happened and we might as well get it.
Yeah.
We're good with that?
Yeah. Please.
Okay. We don't need a resolution, we're just directing you to do that, right? Because it's their money to go.
Their money, yes.
Okay. Then I believe that's it. Anybody else have anything under other? Last resolution, moved by Councillor Dowsett, second by Councillor Landry. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:10 PM and to meet again on September 8th, 2026. All in favor? Opposed?